You're up running.
Wilanne, we can say a prayer.
Sure.
You're live.
We got it going, Clay.
Yes, sir. You're up running.
Like to call to order the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners meeting for May 24th, 2022. At this time, Ms. Wilanne is going to say a prayer and then we'll do the pledge.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to come together and just conduct business. I pray over each commissioner that they would just use wisdom and good judgment, and that we would just be blessed this evening. In Jesus' name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Wilanne.
Yes, sir. We have 4 additions to the agenda. Number 17, request board approval of a change order. Number 18, request board approval of a change order. Number 19, request board discussion and approval to repair the roof of the supervisor of elections building. Number 20, request board approval of a contract time extension. And 1 deletion under section 4 is board clarification. Number 1 under section 4 from Shilpan to Law.
Chairman,
Commissioner Pate.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with the additions and subtractions.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Pate, second by Commissioner McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, all of you has received a copy of the agenda. Had a chance to read the consent agenda items. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Somebody make a motion quickly.
Second.
All right, got one by Hill, second by Pate. Let's go.
I heard I
All
hear
right.
that. I didn't hear anything.
All right, I'm sorry. Motion. You raise your hand. 5-0. We're going. We're in a hurry.
Come on now.
Okay. Ms. Wilanne.
Yes, sir. I'm requesting that the board set your regularly, or actually a special meeting, I guess it would be in June, rather than your 2 regular meetings, just doing 1 meeting in the middle of the month for June 21st at 9 a.m. to accommodate for the FAC conference at the end of the month.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Donofro. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
For in the morning, right?
Mhm.
9 o'clock. So we couldn't change that?
What do you want?
It had to do with an advertisement.
You're not?
Nope.
What's your I mean, I don't need to know you. Is there another day that's more convenient?
No,
Well,
it's got something to do with the.
It was a
advertisement.
CDBG advertisement that we had to go ahead and get out. And so had we been able to know that just a little sooner, we could have changed that advertisement. So
You
He
can be here
he
that
can
day.
join, you can join by Zoom though, if you're available.
You can do that.
I don't know what time you have to be somewhere, but if possible.
Is
you
it
could.
morning or day that you need? Are you on?
No, it don't matter. It's
It's the
already
whole
been
day.
advertised, so I can get on for some.
Already been advertised. What's been advertised?
It had to do with a CDBG requirement to
Oh.
meet.
And we talked about it,
Okay,
but,
okay.
but
I just
So
know
we're
when-
leaving the meeting as we just.
But if you,
Yeah.
if instead of doing a morning and we did an evening meeting, would that
no, it's
help
already
you?
been
Already
advertised.
been advertised.
Yeah, but it's advertised when you can do it after the advertised time.
I'm asking Hunter. He's not in here. I'm asking.
What time, do we know what time was advertised? Was it morning?
I think we
Okay.
advertised it.
Mine
for
Will
was
you be
morning.
here at night?
Yeah.
Well, then they change it to that night.
Oh, wait.
Don't do
It
it.
can be
unless-
later.
He says we haven't advertised yet.
I
so
thought he
stand
was
by.
waiting on me.
But
I
certainly,
thought
if
that
we-
he
if we
already
could
had to
find
release
that'd be
it.
good.
All right, so
When do you want to meet?
So it hadn't been advertised?
Not yet. He was waiting on y'all. 'Cause
Wow.
Now,
sometimes you
can
don't do what we
change your
ask.
plans for us?
No, I can on this one.
Okay, so you want a
That
day?
night.
Okay, so I make my motion will include
Can we
the
do
night,
that?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, okay with
That's
everyone? All right, it's the night meeting.
I'm sorry. Thought it was already released. So that's good.
That worked out. Thank you.
Daniel,
Grant sponsorship of the Florida Panhandle Championship in the amount of $1,500 to use for advertising.
A motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Rhett Daniels.
Good evening.
Hey, Rhett.
So first up I have for you is a request to set a public hearing to review the proposed amendment to Jackson County Code of Ordinances, section 70. The request will be for June 21st, 6 p.m.
So move, Mr. Chairman,
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill
with a question. Second.
with questions and a second by Commissioner Pate. Go ahead,
What's the
Commissioner
second,
Hill.
man? What?
This will be to address potential changes to disposable containers on Spring Creek.
So we were supposed to have it today, but we failed to notice, so
Yeah.
now we gotta do it again.
I didn't advertise it like I was supposed to, so we got it.
Well,
And-
How is this different from the current ordinance?
So the proposal is going to be to limit any disposable container on the body of water. Whereas now, littering itself is against the ordinance, but we want to take it a step further and actually ban disposable containers.
But this does not apply to motorized boats.
It does not apply to boats accessing from either Chipola River or, people that have property,
So who's gonna police this?
sheriff's office.
trash police.
Why don't the sheriff's office already police the sorry, I looked over there, the styrofoam and and the stuff there now?
Can't answer that.
I know there is somebody there, but I'm fixing to eliminate a lot of people coming. Just saying.
Just real quick, you talking about any disposable, this,
Yeah, you can't take that.
so they don't be drifting down the
This,
Chipola
They'll
24 hours?
they'll have to provide their own,
You have to bring your own Yeti.
container. You want a sandwich, put it in Tupperware, or bring your
Oh,
own
okay.
cup or bottle,
Oh, I got you.
something that you intend to take home with you.
I
when you
got
leave.
you. I got you.
Something you're not gonna discard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Is that just for Spring Creek, like I put in at the bridge going fishing? Does that apply?
You're on a boat.
In a boat, right?
Yeah, motorized boat, you're okay.
Well,
It's
you're not
it's just
putting
Spring
the boat
Creek
in at the
too.
bridge. There's no launch point.
Oh,
So
but you could tote one down to the other land and put it in,
No, it's not,
and then
Exact-
people ain't throwing them now. huh?
does not apply to the Chipola River, just Spring Creek.
Spring
From
Creek.
Chipola River up to the.
Well, I got,
As long as you have a container to put it in. So if I had a
That's right.
sandwich inside of a cooler, I could take it.
mhm.
Cause I can take my trash. Okay, I just didn't, all of a sudden you have people float for several hours, you
No,
can't get
no,
nothing.
no. So if they want to bring, water bottles
Okay, I
or,
got you.
service cups, Yeti cup, tumblers, I should
Okay.
say, more generic term.
Is it-
I got a question about this. Got a couple of questions.
Okay.
Says on page 37, the Spring Creek shall include wooded areas, floodplain areas, waters, launching and swimming. How far out in the woods are we going?
The high water mark.
And how far is that from the water?
Depends on the lay of the land. So this was primarily to limit people that are utilizing the Spring Creek Park facility, which obviously as a watershed, it rains and there's litter on the ground, then it's gonna go in the creek.
So if I'm on a motorboat, I'm not gonna throw my beer can in the creek.
Less likely to. We found that one of the biggest issues is having somewhere to place trash. A lot of people don't want to take it, say you're on an inner tube. I mean, you're not gonna have anywhere to put it. You would think you just put it right back in the cooler you got the whatever out of, but unfortunately, that's not the case.
Also, what I've seen, Red, is sometimes it's not even those people that are on purpose discarding. Sometimes they just get to a point that they turn the raft over and, everything that's in the raft is in the river and floating down to.
Yeah.
That absolutely
Howell.
happens.
And we're gonna put up some signs, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do we have trash?
So
Sorry.
what happens? Who's gonna keep the signs up?
We
Make
do.
sure they're visible.
We do. We maintain those currently with the existing ordinances.
So every time somebody comes out there, they're going to be able to see one of your signs.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we keep them up at all the launch points, the upper Spring Creek parking lot, and then one at the lower entrance, and then another one at the actual launch point at the water, as well as Turner's Landing. And we also make them visible for those people accessing private livery services.
I think we've got to do something.
Yeah.
We know there's an issue.
Well,
This is coming from a strong public backing in that area, which I'm sure all of you have spoken to someone from that vicinity in the past. So this is just our effort to help minimize the trash in the river.
Do we have trash bags and stuff along the river?
No, sir.
Mr. Bastard, you have a question?
It's hard to get to them.
Sheriff's office enforcement, y'all are paying deputies to be down there at Spring Creek Park.
But they can't do it if they're sitting in their vehicle.
No, they're not supposed to. And that's been.
But I've seen that.
That's been addressed. It has happened. In the past.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Jim made a good point though. Is there ways that we can, of course, is there ways along the points that we can have trash cans?
We don't have enough access.
That's it too.
Yeah, we don't have a vessel either,
Sure.
a boat to get up and down and fluctuating water levels.
We'll discuss, I guess.
But from and then we have spoken to the sheriff, I will add, I've spoken to Sheriff Edenfield as well as Captain Stewart, Captain Stewart, about that issue. And, I had the same concerns. I've been dealing with this for, a long time, and y'all too. Yeah, exactly. So, littering in and of itself is illegal. We all know that, taught that from an early age. But it's a lot easier from their perspective. If they are going to have deputies posted at these launch points, it's a lot easier to catch it before it goes in versus letting them get out of sight and then, the tossing starts. So that's kind of the perspective we're going at.
Are we going to advertise this?
The
That
meeting.
You can't bring that sort of
They don't have
can?
on the sign.
That's-
Well, but if I drive from Tallahassee and I
Oh,
show
yeah,
up,
yeah, just,
you know.
you talk like PR stuff. Yeah, I'm sure this will get picked up tonight and I'll be on several interviews in the next few days. And then, whatever verdict y'all come to, we'll absolutely be hitting Facebook and radio and all that. So
I know we're just setting a public hearing, but have we reached out to some, like the Baptist, even Chipola out here, fraternities or sororities, and get them to adopt the creek to keep it clean?
we have not, I've only been a part of volunteer groups over the past few years, and, it's, I hate to say this, but typing comments on Facebook versus people actually getting out and trying to make a difference are two very different things.
Yeah, but if you could get, and most of those organizations are required to have some sort of volunteer action that they take. Philip. Yeah, they're not raising money, but just pick up trash.
Community
Keep it
service.
clean.
Yeah,
I
community
just
What's
wondered.
the youth camp there close?
That's on the north side.
Camp Anderson.
Camp Anderson.
I wonder, no,
No, that won't work.
they go out on Merritt's Mill Pond. with
I
some of their
don't,
recreation
their
stuff.
schedule is fairly regimented.
Well, I don't know. I just think,
And Ms. Daniels, what do you think?
I think we could ask. But I personally think it'll be a multifaceted approach. I think we need a proactive solution. And I did join, Clay was there and Rhett, myself, and I think you came for a period of time, and Commissioner Hill. Y'all tag team to a meeting last year. It's not very often that you have a group of citizens organically come together to try to come up with solutions. And so this isn't coming from one person or two. It's a group of people saying, we've got to do something, we would support this effort. And I hope they are all here at the next meeting if they truly feel that way, because y'all need to know that.
They'll
that's
live
what
on
they
it.
do.
They'll live on it. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah,
I
I
just hate to
think-
know that I'm someone's backyard trash
Right.
can. So they deserve it. We'll take care of it.
But I think
I
that
just-
having a cleanup solution is also
Having-
part of it.
Some group, I don't care who they are,
Right.
or a couple of groups, come in and float it and clean it would be to our
I'd be
advantage.
fine to ask.
I wonder if the jail could do that.
They used to.
The inmates.
So we had the same problem that any volunteer group would have, is having the adequate equipment to do it, to do the
What
job.
would you need?
A couple boats, vehicles to get back and forth, depending on how you want to do it. And then having, a trailer you can get everything out of.
The reason I said it, because I think Sheriff Roberts, I don't remember, so someone did it might be Captain Edwards, I thought they did a project down there right after we come on board down there. It may
Well,
not.
actually,
They did when they had.
We went there.
we contributed
Yeah.
money to clean it up.
Get the bags and all y'all got.
Well,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just wondered if we, I know that it's short on inmates, sometimes it can be released, but that would probably be a fun event for them. Better sitting in the jail, I mean,
they might just keep floating.
well,
They-
All right,
they
we'll-
gotta get by
all right,
some-
I need a motion.
We need,
Yes,
so
Daniel.
movement,
6:15 instead of 6.
6:15, so movement, Chair.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pate to set a public hearing for
We already
this.
had it. We already had it.
Huh?
Danielle, we
Oh,
already
I'm
had it.
sorry.
We already had a motion.
I didn't.
It has 6 PM instead of 6:15.
Yeah, we just changed it 6:15. Thank you.
So that's the second motion, is to change it to 6:15?
Yeah,
Yes.
right, it is.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. All right, Brett.
Next up, I have a request for board approval to pay invoice from Ingram Equipment and approve and authorize a budget amendment from general revenue to recycling department for the compactor truck.
So movement, Chair.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
All right, next is approval and chairman's signature for site dedication and certificate of completion, final completion for Howell Landing FBIP grant project.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hill,
second,
second by Commissioner Donofro. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
And next, board approval to advertise for Blue Springs Road sewer project.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pate,
Second.
second by Commissioner McKinney,
question,
question by
What-
Commissioner Donofro.
what do we anticipate the cost of this project? Do we know? You remember?
We don't know,
Do you have any idea? There ought
I'll
to
try
be
to
some
get it for you.
engineers.
I had so many
It's
items,
the-
I had to go electronic. No, it
It's
ain't.
4, I think, 4 million.
No, way more.
Well,
It was
as-
around-
so
This is
I mean,
done in phases, right?
that's right. So phase 1 is what we're talking about, which the extent is roughly from Highway 71 to Hunter Fish Camp Road. We're looking about 32 potential customers. Overall, it'll go all the way to
Phase
Reddick,
9.
Copper Springs. It's about an 8 or a 9 year project. I forget what the total amount was, in the tens of millions.
This first phase, then, we have, is it broken down for that?
A connection.
How much?
60,000.
You'll get more than 30 people because you'll eventually get Spring Chase in there.
We're talking about this first phase, right, for the 30
Yeah, I'm
connections?
trying to find my map, just so I can say for sure.
Is that the original project that the city was referring to many years?
Yes, sir.
So is the sewer line running down the middle of Blue Springs Road? Is that?
It's going to go down one lane.
Yep.
And they're going to do the laterals off.
That's right.
And you'll wind up with Blue Springs Road resurfaced.
So it
Redone.
does get resurfaced as part of this
As it
As it
project?
moves
Are
along.
they gonna do that?
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's part of the project.
Yeah.
Which
All the way
is,
to Poplar Springs, you said, what's that, four plus miles?
I don't know the distance on that.
Probably.
Yeah,
Right on there.
The-
Poplar Springs, so JD swearing.
From 71 to Copper Springs. Or, yeah.
But again, that's all the way, that's all 9 phases to get all the way. to
That'd be to the entirety, yeah.
Any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Rhett?
So next one is just asking for board discussion or direction regarding septic tank abandonments for the Indian Springs sewer project. Within the contract that the homeowner signed included the agreement to abandon their existing septic tank. Now that some of them have come onto our low pressure system, they are refusing contractor access to property to do the proper abandonment of their old septic tank. So the agreement, that they have with the county says that it would be abandoned, but we're having some issues actually fulfilling that agreement at this time.
We pay for the cost for, and we
The
actually
grant
do it,
is-
right?
The grant, yes, sir.
I mean, it's not an extra cost to it.
No, no, it's included in the line item, no cost.
My question, have you spoken to these people who are refusing to allow this?
I personally have not, no.
All right, well, my recommendation before we do anything, is you go talk to each one of them
Okay,
and find out precisely what and why they are refusing. Now, I know that the contractors out there and they've done some good work, but they've also done some bad work.
mhm,
But, you know, each one of these septic tanks, they are cutting the line so the homeowner cannot use that tank, correct?
that's correct.
There'll
So
either
they
be a
got a
grinder
wax-
station or they'll put a sweep in and it'll go out to our line.
Correct.
So if John Doe says, I don't want that contractor in here, he messed up, he did,
Mhm.
So if you take and put like a 3-inch cap on the line going into the tank, how long, they're gonna pump it out. That's part of the deal, to pump it out.
If allowed access, we hadn't even got to
Well, they're
that point.
supposed
Do
to.
do they sign?
Well, that's all, they all have, they're both pumping out and abandonment happening at the same time.
Well, if we pump it out and basically seal it up, that tank will sit there well past your lifetime. And I know it'll sit there past mine because it's about, the walls are about 3 inches thick and it's reinforced with wire and everything.
Don't
So
they have to,
what's the harm?
Well, it's all depending on the ingenuity of the homeowner, sir.
Do you think John Doe's gonna go out there and after you talk to him and explain it's sealed up, you're gonna be charged sewer on every bit of the water that comes through here.
Mhm.
So there's no benefit for them to go out there and redirect it into the sewer, the septic tank.
Mhm. So again, I have not spoken with them,
Well-
but hearing from the contractor and our CEI firm that's out in the field, the biggest concern has been actually using it as a backup in case there's an extended power outage, which goes against what the intent of the
Well, we got
project
and hopefully you'll explain to them about the generators that we have to power up those pumps.
Do they sign contractual agreements?
it's in the
I
contract.
talked to one and they just didn't want them messing up the backyard.
I don't think that'd be most of it. But isn't there a safety issue with leaving that septic tank? I mean, typically when they abandon it, don't they crush the top and fill it with
Yeah,
sand?
They do it one or two different ways. They can use flowable fill, pump it out, pump the fluid out, and use flowable fill and basically just,
Fill it up.
fill up the inside and let it harden, or actually to collapse and level and resod the area. So those are the two options. And most of it is depending on the site itself. Some properties don't allow for the equipment to actually go in and do the physical, crushing and
Right.
filling. But that's kind of where we're at right now.
Well, I would like for you to go talk to each one of them individually and then come
That
back.
could be a nightmare. It's just
Let me-
quick.
Well, it could, I
It'd be a
mean.
nightmare quick.
So these 8 or 10 that are holding it up right now have the same opinions as several others that, may have reluctantly agreed to the work. So just keep that in mind.
Well, I understand that, but I don't want to be the septic tank police either. I don't, let's find out why they're not doing it. And then we can make a more informed decision as to what we should and should not do.
Okay.
All right?
We just know.
But bottom line is they did sign the contract that said they
Right.
would allow access to their
Well,
property.
I agree.
So,
But-
at some point in time,
It may come down to us forcing it, but before we get into
I
the
agree.
forcing
I agree.
mode,
Well, you need
let's see
to-
if we can solve the problem without.
You don't tear your yard up when they go out there.
You can crush them or let them pay for filling it up.
Well,
The contractor.
before we move on, we are trying to close out this first phase of the project and extending another month to get a determination, then who knows past that to get the actual work done, depending on which way we go. The contractors,
This is the first I've heard of it until you told me the other day.
okay.
I was unaware we had a problem. I know of one individual that said he didn't want them in his backyard. That's all I know about. So
Just a quick question. So if they have, hypothetically, they have a sprinkler system in the back. if that contractor goes in and runs over it, not on purpose, obviously, but are they liable for that?
Yeah, they have to
make-
repair it, yeah.
Okay, good, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanna make
Repair
sure.
that, they're supposed to
Any
replace
fencing,
the sod,
concrete,
but unfortunately,
sod has to
it's not
match,
happening.
yeah.
And as a result,
Well, if there's only 8 or 10 of these it'd be pretty easy just to go out there and make sure that they're satisfied with the work
Yeah.
once it's done. And if they're not, then, we can.
Make the
rectify
contractor
it.
right,
Yeah.
We'll make that.
But I agree with Jim. Let's go talk to them and see.
Fair enough.
So
I'll
we
be
don't,
back
we
on the
don't, we don't need a
21st.
motion on that one.
It's
It's just info right now.
Yeah.
yeah, give me a motion
Want some direction.
What we do a motion for?
Table.
to
and
tell
bring
him
back.
to
Tell you
go.
what, I make the motion that we allow Rhett and staff to go out there and talk, speak to them and just update the next meeting.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pate,
Listen.
I mean,
I'm not-
Hill,
Second.
second by Pate. I was waiting for you a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
All right, lastly, I have for you, board approval of unaccompanied minor policy for Jackson Blue Springs recreational area. What I'm requesting is to have any individual 15 and under be accompanied by an adult 18 or over. We've had a significant increase in, I don't know how to explain it.
Riff-raff.
Bad riffraff, thank
Mischievous
you.
behavior.
Riffraff, mischievous behavior, yeah, all the above
So make that
in
sure.
the past.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
I do have a question on that.
Motion
So-
carries
so-
5-0. And
So
Mr. Hill
is
got a
it
question.
isolated, or, I mean, we're not gonna start restricting people that, you just want,
You just did.
well, I
Yeah,
know.
you
I
did.
understand,
Well-
but
So I'll explain further. It's become a problem where
it's a basic
children are
situation.
being dropped off as a daycare essentially throughout the course of the summer season, school's out. It's easy to either walk or just, get dropped off, and they'll spend all day. And when we've had some serious legal matters, as a matter of fact, occur as a result of this age bracket. So in an effort to, move our attentions to water safety, try to create a more family-friendly environment, I think this is a good path to move forward. Now, we are going to have some issues,
Who's gonna police it?
great question. So at the gate, we know if they're not driving themselves into the park, they got to be at least 16 to drive, assuming they're following at least that long. Then 16, if they got multiple people in the vehicle, we'll be able to, check identifications, because 16 don't cut it. You got to be 18. So, it's going to take some work and training on behalf of our staff, but
And some information, because again, this is, if
Sure.
you're used to that.
absolutely.
Again, we
But
don't
we
have
know-
signage.
We know some things to look for, and when you got a group of half a dozen, teenage folks walking through the gate, not driving themselves, you got a pretty good idea they're not going to be falling within this category. So,
Any more questions?
and I don't know if it needs to be part of the motion. Ideally, it'd be effective immediately because we open Saturday.
I was just going to ask, don't you open Saturday?
Yes, sir.
But you are gonna put this on the radio. and
We,
news
yep,
and all
we'll
that.
get it out.
All right.
Promotion to, we want to get a motion?
Yeah, we've already
Yes,
done.
sir.
Right, voted on it, but we just need to make sure do you need another motion to accept that? No, just include the time.
Okay. All right, that's it for me. Thank y'all.
Wait a minute before you leave. Why don't you tell everyone about your,
Rodeo?
Yeah.
All right, so last Friday night, we had our carp boat fishing tournament. We had 16 boats show up. We had about 65 fishermen, anglers. We ran from 8 o'clock at night to midnight and captured or killed 15 grass carp, which was our target species. And then there's also been over years introduction of common carp into the body of water that the FWC biologists also wanted to be removed, eradicated. So we had 52 of those. So overall, 67 fish removed. Somewhat successful, not really what we were hoping for, but definitely something. He said it was the most successful one that they'd ever been part of, so I felt pretty good about that. And we're working with them to come up with some options to continue doing either smaller scale or isolating a few individuals that had a really good success rate and have them come back on an intermittent basis to just kind of throughout the course of the summer keep working on them.
we got about 200 we need to remove.
Yeah, I'd estimate 150 to 180. So 200 were introduced. They don't naturally repopulate. Obviously over time some die just from.
You got about a third of them?
So 150 to 15. not
Oh,
quite
15, I
30.
thought you said.
If-
Well, so the different species.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
And you're working on coming up with a program to get rid of the eelgrass, right?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew you were.
All right.
It's on the list.
Jeffrey,
Way down.
Let me see what we got. Put my glasses on that. All right, it's request board approval of change order number 2 for emergency sign repair and replacement.
got a motion by Commissioner Hill. Second by Commissioner Fate. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
And the next thing is request board approval of closeout documents and final pay request for the District 3 paving.
So move,
project.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Made a motion.
Well, I didn't hear. you say
So moved.
Oh, okay. Didn't catch that. All right, got a motion by Commissioner Donofro,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Hunter,
Well, good afternoon.
evening.
The first item I have for you is I want to set a public hearing for the CDBG Small Cities Grant Application Cycle. And the request is 9:15, but it's going to be 6:15 PM instead of 9:15.
Got a motion by Commissioner Fate, second by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the next item is your request for approval of supplemental work authorization number 2 for Pooser Road design. So if you remember last time I came back and they said we need additional.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? So are we gonna see this over and over
Hopefully
and
this is the last
over
one.
again? But how many roads do we have in Jackson County that are historic, of a historic age?
I guess the
And,
precedent would be some other recent.
Of a historic
projects.
age and represents a linear resource group.
Just about all of them.
Yeah. Well,
I guess that's your.
Butler Road,
Butler,
oh my God,
Blue
it's,
Springs,
Yeah, they're all.
yeah.
Okay, this is the
Bridge
mitigation
Road.
part of Pooser, right?
It's for the whole road, actually. This is for the entire portion of it, yeah.
Is it just
That's why
because
it's
we're
so
using
much,
state
we have to
funds?
do-
Is that the reason? We're using state funds?
No.
We got state funds.
Then why we gotta do this?
So the letter, I think it should be an attachment in there, and that's what they're stating. is
it
the-
meets the criteria. It's a
Yeah.
historic age and represents a linear resource group. Jeffrey, you remember that?
So do we have a list of our roads that meets that criteria for future reference?
I'm sure it's maybe a case by case basis. It's from the Historical Resource Department or Department of Historical Resources.
Couldn't help you, Senator.
Okay, but we were just talking to people that would pay Pooser Road.
Yeah. All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Hunter,
Yes, asking for your approval of a non-residential lease agreement between the board and the Panhandle Public Library Cooperative System for
So
office
moved.
space.
got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donofro. Go
So,
ahead.
yeah, just, why is the leases running out?
So this one actually expired in 2019.
Right.
So I think they usually do 3 years.
Okay.
And so that's what I think we did this one as
They're
well.
paying
3 years.
monthly still? They pay
Mhm.
monthly?
They've been paying monthly,
Okay, good.
We handle that for
Okay.
them. We pay ourselves.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
It was going up $50 a month. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
It's just that one office, though, isn't it? That office?
Right.
That's just that
little
little
section
section.
They got a conference room
Yeah.
over there.
Who seconded that?
The second was Donofro.
Donofro.
And then
Okay, Hunter.
Yeah, the next item is asking to renew the professional service contracts for CEI and design services
So
with the
moved,
three firms.
So,
So
Okay, we
last
got a
year
motion by Commissioner McKinney.
State that again.
This is last year, we can extend it.
Right.
So
Okay.
next year we'll have to re-advertise, so you'll be seeing that sometime.
All right, did you second that?
Yeah. McKinney was-
Okay, Hill seconded, so all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Ms. Wilanne?
It's a request to see if we have any updates on an appointment to Tri-County Airport Authority. I think we may be still looking for someone.
Yes, we're still looking for somebody that wants to serve on that.
Yeah, we did make
So-
a couple of attempts, but have not been successful yet, so we'll
So
just
if
table that
anybody
item
wants to-
until we find one.
I make a motion to table.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Pate to table this,
Second.
second by Commissioner Donofro. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Item 17. Every register.
And this is, to request board approval of change order, number 2 for the D2 paving project.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pate, second by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Hunter Potts.
First one I have is the approval of change order number 1 and certificate upon completion of project Glad. So they finished the.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
No.
He was slow vote.
I was slow.
He was slow.
Looking at something.
No doubt.
Hill and McKinney.
All right. Hunter, you got the next. one.
Yeah, so the next item is kind of asking for some discussion. So a little bit of background. The Supervisor of Elections Office across the street encountered a leak some months ago. And we kind of been working to track down who the contractor was that initially did it, and then it was kind of warranty was on it. We found out who it was. It was under the Johnson Controls contract. So we're still working to see if there's actually a warranty that can pay for the repairs. But in the event that that isn't successful, because they tell us the damage isn't a warranty damage, we got some different price options for you guys to look at here. We kind of wanted to see if you want to approve one contingent upon what the warranty says. So
Real quick,
Yeah.
when was it done? Because I mean, I think state of Florida-
2017, under
Right,
the
but in
energy
Florida, you only
project.
have 1-year warranty on
You have
contracts.
20-year warranty on
On the
that,
metal.
on that roof.
On the metal, but not a labor.
My understanding was the part got damaged during Hurricane Michael.
Right.
We hired the same company to
Right.
come out and fix that damage,
Right.
and it has not been right since they touched it.
It hasn't.
So I would like for Michelle to look at the warranty information, look at what has transpired, because they're just not wanting to stand behind their product.
And this is Johnson.
No, it was,
It's their
they bid it out.
subcontractor.
So
Okay.
it-
But it's
is it
still
the product-
Johnson.
Is it the product that warranty?
I wish we had involved Johnson when we started having the
Right.
problems and had them hold our hands through it. That's what I wish.
So
they
the
got.
issue, the product or the installation, because also the product usually is warranted by the manufacturer, but the installation is only covered usually for 1 year from the date of.
2 to 3 years.
I went over and looked at it. I was over there for a meeting and it was just happened to be raining, but I didn't see it
Is
leaking,
it-
but there's definitely evidence it has leaked.
Is it a screw through type panel?
PBR,
or is it-
yeah.
AJ said the screws are
Is it
not in the right
standard?
I think the
pattern.
repairs they've been
So
doing
it's
are
not
coating
standard.
the screws and coating the
PBR.
seams and everything, but it's still.
Well, it could have been just a screw back out, but what I saw.
The replacement with the PBR is what it says. There's a PBR that's on there now. That's a high rib 3-foot metal.
Yeah, because it would match up the other side of the building. Yeah.
So it's.
So I don't think we realized that Johnson Controls had any involvement in that. So we are trying to go that route and see if we can work through that. We just were
I just
hoping
ain't
for a
got no response
contingent
coming
approval
today.
if we're not able to get that resolved.
Well, how are we gonna choose between these three if we don't know how bad it is? I mean, is it gonna take replacement possibly? So we had to approve the worst case scenario, they go down to.
So the only one the contractor right here is gonna warranty is the option 1. That's why it's, because it's the actual place with the whole roof.
After
Otherwise, they're not
looking at
gonna
it,
warranty
I would
anything else.
pursue option 1.
So moved, Michelle.
All right, got a motion by Commissioner Hill to pursue option
Option
1.
one.
In the event of
Contingent
that,
on the
warranty.
warranty.
Yeah, actually continuing on the warranty or any other labor that may go with that.
Alex, did you
Yes, I
second
second.
it? All right, got a second by McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
When will we know?
I've been expecting
was
him to
soon,
call
yeah.
me, to give me the information or call me anytime today and he
So
didn't.
who's making contact with you? What's the,
I've been trying to talk to Justin Newburn
from
from
Johnson?
Johnson
Okay, very
Controls.
good. Okay. Just when we have that contact.
Like I said, I was over there. It was raining. It was not leaking. It has
Is it
leaked.
on
Were
always-
you in the room that they're saying is leaking?
Yes,
It was the back room.
Yes,
not upfront.
I was looking
But
up,
sometimes it takes a while.
with a flashlight.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
It
water will
has-
run a beam for a long way before it comes down.
yes, it will. But,
Question, what
it may
does
be an
Johnson
old-
Controls got to do with it?
Because we did a big project, just like we did at the courthouse with Ajax. They were our prime and they bid out all the work and they kept up with the warranties and all of that. I mean, they were like Ajax was at the courthouse.
okay, Mr. Pop.
Yeah, the last item is requesting approval of a time extension for the road and bridge office building. So the original expiration date was today, actually. They're not done yet, but
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner
Question.
Page.
substantial by June 30th.
And what is their excuse?
What is their excuse? So predominantly it was the roof being delayed, like I think 3 months from getting there. And then so that actually got there, I think it was the beginning of March. And they've made a significant amount of progress since then on the interior. And I think there's no really lead time on anything else, just
Somebody quit too. I
Installer.
think didn't the roofer quit? Cause I know.
No, they had some problems with
they had some problems with the concrete,
the
initial concrete work.
foundation.
Yeah, foundation.
They got sideways with the contractor. It went crazy.
I just know
But,
they said it was happening, done by one contractor. one-
Yeah. So it was a mess. All right, any more questions?
Yes, it's July 31st and give them enough time to complete.
Yeah, so they envision being complete substantially by the end of June. And so that should leave any punch list items for the next 2 weeks of there.
All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
And that was the date that they gave, the contractor gave, so. Yeah.
Okay. Come on up. Going into public hearing.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are requesting board approval for revisions to the development agreement for Sellers Crossing subdivision. On April 24th, the board approved the development order. This is for a technical amendment, basically for the legal description and to amend the acreage.
Yeah, man, what was the second item?
Apron.
To amend the acreage.
Acreage.
Yes.
Where's
Okay,
this
wait a
at, Ms.
minute, we're
Wendy?
in public.
It was at 19.3 acres. We are increasing it to be correct at 25.78. And the legal description was submitted by the developer after the agreement had been approved.
So where's it at geographically? Where's it at, this project at?
This is down 98.
Oh, Cambodia Bay, okay. I just
Yeah,
want to make
right
sure we're on the
past
same
Cambodia.
page.
All right, is there anyone in here for or against it? No, information. I thought so. Okay.
How many lots are in it? Again,
50 something?
48.
48?
Mhm.
Is this the RV
No,
The houses?
Housing.
single
Housing.
family housing.
house?
Mhm.
Whatever happened
It's
to
a
that RV
subdivision.
thing that was gonna go
Yeah,
there?
he was from
It-
Lake City or Lake.
Died?
I think Mary Mark, didn't he change over and do this?
Oh, okay. So
Same
it's the
people.
same land.
Yeah, same one.
The
All right.
neighbors already all good with this?
Fred,
Well,
have
it
we
was
got
already
anybody
approved.
online that wants to speak for or against this?
If there's anyone online to speak for or against, they may use the *9 feature if dialed via telephone or the raise hand feature on the desktop.
Okay. We're out of public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pate. Any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wendy. All right. So, Ms. Wilanne?
I do know there's a person from the public that wants to speak under other matters from the public.
Okay. Who is that other person?
Mr. Shilpan, I was told. wants
Mr.
to speak.
Shilpan, you want to speak? He said other. He's here.
Good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
here for requesting a year extension for the land I'm given
Oh, that
at
on
Hinesville Highway.
So if you got some information, I've been asking around the DOT about, what we talked about, the size of the building.
Okay.
Can you tell us why you need extension?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You can keep that one.
We'll put this in there. Beneficial,
So this project is on a hold right now because the speed limit is 55 existing on Kinesville Highway. With the speed limit of 55, I cannot.
Speak up, I'm hard of hearing.
To the right. Can you hear me?
Do it again?
He's messing with you now, just talk.
No, I'm not.
No,
Speak
I
louder.
can understand.
Massing is okay. Okay.
Now
The
we,
speed limit, existing
Perfect.
speed limit is 55
okay.
at Kinesville Highway, where I'm gonna build a store. City of Mariana has requested to reduce it to 45. That allows to make a bigger store. DOT considers, I believe I got information from my engineer, and I'm keeping in loop to Miss Wilanne, all the comments or whatever the progress or whatever happening. So I'm keeping the county in loop. Now, DOT is working on it. That's what I understand. But it takes time. It's not in my hand or I cannot push there. So Mr. Dean has petitioned DOT to reduce to 45. So City of Mariana still waiting for that.
Commissioner Pate.
Okay, is this about a turn lane?
This about, it can help for turn lane as well, possible.
Because I don't see how the DOT has any right to tell you what size building you can build on your property. Now, if it's got something to do with a turn lane or something like that, maybe so, but no, I've talked to some people at the DOT
Mhm.
and they said, that don't make sense. Now, a turn lane could,
If they add a turn lane over there,
but is that
then
what it's
also I
about?
can have a bigger building.
But that's what it's about, is putting a turn lane there.
Turn lane, very much helpful. But I cannot ask them to make a turn lane or like that, but if they reduce the speed to 45, they're considering traffic impact, I believe. I don't have much technical knowledge about that, but my engineer.
What they're asking is the speed limit, why is the speed limit dictating the size of the building?
Yes.
I understand there's a traffic impacts that impacts the traffic. If you have a bigger store, more traffic, more pumps, more traffic. If you have a small building, little less traffic, less people coming. That's what I understand. I believe, I don't know. Plus, if at 55, if I need a bigger thing, then I may have to build 2 turn lanes possible. I don't know. And that's not possible for me to add 2 turn lane in DOT's property. I cannot do 2 turn lanes, I believe.
Well, we've had this discussion, but I want the board to know where you're at with that. I still don't understand it yet, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of it myself. Because
If yes, I understand, but I
Yeah.
cannot answer that
I
technical question.
understand that you,
Joe, my engineer may, but I have forwarded Ms. Wilanne about my engineer's comment, I believe 8-9 months before, what the comment was by my engineer to the county.
Can I? 'Cause
Go
I don't
ahead, Paul.
quite understand exactly, and maybe it's the same as Commissioner Pate. But is the city requesting that the speed limit be reduced? Is the city, is that a
City-
unilateral
For him.
request?
City,
For you, right?
Or is it specifically,
I don't know, is that specifically for me or maybe other coming development and Mashburn and all together? I'm not aware.
When,
It was more than just for him. I'm
when you
sorry.
come off the interstate, is it 45 right there and then go to 55, or is it 55?
It's just
55.
55.
All the way to get into the, not before you get to the light there at, Old Continental.
I thought I did talk to Mr. Dean, when it was for this too, but just for development in that area in general, we really need it to slow down if we want people to stop.
right? So the request is actually from the city and it's not specifically for Mr.
Right.
Chilpan, but it's for.
Okay.
So move it,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Well, also the.
And also, yeah, the supply and everything has an issue right now going on.
The reason, I'm sorry,
I was gonna say, how does that impact what you're trying to do? Is that was your question?
I'm not still sure how big building I can have because of the speed. If they change the speed, I can have bigger building.
But that's gonna affect everything we do
So
there.
I cannot pay engineer for
that
this
because-
speed and then I cannot pay engineer to make a bigger
Is that
store and
because of-
repay them for another engineering. You follow?
Is that because with a 55-mile speed limit, 55-mile-per-hour speed limit, your development would require a turn lane and that's encroaching on your property? I don't
Approaching my property turn lane requirement.
think that would be all on the right of way.
If I had 2 turn lane from my
Two
pocket,
would.
it may allow. I don't know. That's
Got it.
engineer can answer, and putting 2 turn lanes is very too expensive.
So your request is to extend what? Extend,
1
Time
year,
for business.
1 year
All right, we
extension.
got a motion by Commissioner Hill. Yes, we did. He made a motion. And you got a second by Commissioner McKinney. Ms. Wilanne?
all I was going to say is that the reason we didn't bring it, although I did receive the request, was Hunter and I had discussed it. He has 2 years from the closing date to finish construction, which would be October of 23, which I don't know the time frame he needs, but we weren't in a crunch to, thinking maybe we might hear something on the speed limits. Just
So
FYI,
how
why
long is
we
it going
didn't
to
bring
take
it
you to build the
immediately.
building?
If you get the okay tomorrow.
Right.
I'm depending on engineers, contractors, everyone. So if, till I don't talk to them, I can't answer your question, Mr. G.
Yeah, they've already cleared the lane.
Oh, I'm,
Yeah.
whatever was in my hand, I have done without day one I'm working. So my progress, yes, I'm putting all the progress required.
But if you
That's what I
do,
believe.
if you do get the approval or they do drop the speed limit or whatever is going on, you would start immediately?
I'll start immediately working on it. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, not building, I know. But now do you
See,
already?
I have to go for engineering,
Right.
architecture, deal with the
Right.
vendors. Then I have to contact my bank as well, Mr. Clint. So I have to deal with so many things. So I don't have a quick answer.
You're
that-
You're not under any time constraint, right? Well, to
Well, he is.
October 23.
Yes, he's
Which is,
a year and a half,
Yeah.
and I
So-
think
but
but we're extending it. All right, so
you
you
had
want, wait,
2
wait, wait.
years, right? Or
So
3 years?
I think that's what Wilanne was saying is the 1 year you're asking for now is not even as long as your existing one, because they're saying 2 years from the date of closing.
I think he wants another year,
You
so
want-
I want-
October
October
24.
One more
Two
year.
and a
Oh,
half
yes, sir.
years.
Oh, okay, so, okay, fine.
what happens if he's not able to comply with the requirements that's set forth in the agreement?
And
Hunter in here, I
The
think we
land
have the
reverts
agreement
back to the
pulled up.
county, doesn't it?
Hunter,
Maybe,
it goes for sale. Yeah, I mean, we have to buy it back.
Buy it back.
We gave it to
Huh?
him.
Hunter's got don't you have the agreement pulled up? If it's not, like if
We
if
had a
the speed
reverse.
limit's
It
not
is on there.
changed and
Yeah.
he's unable to meet, what happens?
Wow.
The full non-purchase price, you have to pay that. But if he wants to keep the land, if not.
Oh, okay, so it goes to full, okay, retail price, or, yeah, well, that's fair.
I think.
But I don't.
He wants the
Why do
store,
we want
obviously.
We
to-
So,
want
I
the
mean,
store.
yeah, we want the store. So I mean, if
We've
Jim and
never
them
done
pushing it too, I think with your help, with your help and persistency and Jim's and them from the city want it, may that speed that up. So.
My question is, do we really need to be addressing this at this point? I mean, he's a year and a half out from his drop dead time. So,
I mean, it's,
I mean-
probably a year and a half. If he were to get the go-ahead right now, it could conceivably take him a year and a half to get the plans done.
But if-
Or the materials. I mean,
if
you think about it. We had to wait 7 months just to get our building.
but if he gets approval and he goes and starts working, then we can say, okay, yeah, we'll give you the time. You see what I'm saying?
I would rather not actually issue an extension at this point.
I think it's early,
I do as well.
but you've got a motion, you got a second. Wilanne's got questions.
I just wanted to ask a question. Is there something pressuring you to need the extension now when you still have a year and a half?
I believe my contract says I have to do certain things in certain time. Contract don't says that county gonna start acting at end.
My only concern
So
is,
certain time, for so much time, I have to do so much progress, so much.
Okay, so you're saying you're scared you don't miss the time.
So yes, if county wants to wait till end, I don't know about that, but I believe I should timely inform the commissioners and the county.
I
And
guess my
ask
concern is
in
if it's
advance
apparent
what
that
I
he's not
feel.
gonna be able to follow through with his commitment, we'll just give him a whole nother year before we can do anything to free up that property.
But
And there are some people interested.
Oh, I'm sure.
well, I think that you're also wanting to build there and you can't control current situations. I mean, if you.
All right,
I think we just need to do what you're doing, communication.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think the
that's
board's
fine. Yeah.
intention to begin with, as long as you was progressing and you have
I
cleared it
understand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and.
And
you
sometimes
know,
you can't control.
You've got money invested in
Yeah.
it to clear it. Just keep us,
Yeah, I think that'd be-
Cleared,
All right.
surveyed, even
You
phase
gonna
one,
Yeah, I would draw.
and
All right.
everything done.
Marie,
We don't withdraw a motion. just like-
Commissioner
just
Hill
do what you do.
withdrawing his motion, Mr.
Withdrawn the second.
McKinney withdrew
Yeah.
his second.
So just,
So now
keep
what?
doing a
are we
good job.
doing?
I don't know that we gotta take any action,
don't
but just keep the communication going on, and I know you will.
Yeah,
And
I am-
hopefully
I
that
am.
thing will
At
get
1 year mark,
started.
just come back to us again at the 1 year mark, you
They
know,
just-
from today.
Yeah.
I mean, from the
Or
end of
six,
the
no,
contract.
6 months.
Six
Six
Let's do it
months,
6
right.
months, yeah.
in the year, yeah.
Right.
And I don't know that you gotta come to the board, does he, but communicate with Wilanne and she can to the board.
Oh, we see
whatever.
Mr. Chopin around there.
We see you anyway. You like us?
Just let us know what, keep us
He
in the
didn't answer
loop.
that.
He didn't answer. I don't
Are
think
you
he
joking
understood.
or serious? I have to ask this time.
No.
You say you like, it, so I'm asking, you're joking? or-
No.
You were joking before? I have to make
Well, he
sure.
wanted to happen,
We
or
wanted
we'd
to
have
happen.
never done it. I think that was the first, project there that we done, and we want it to happen.
But I will say this, and I will be in favor, if we don't see some concrete evidence of you moving forward, then I'm gonna be prepared to offer a motion, we move, we've taken the property back.
At the end of the thing, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, if
I
there's
don't
not-
know about
there's
that
not some-
right now.
some
I
concrete
don't-
evidence of Moving
Right.
forward.
All right, anything else? on
Property
this?
taking back, I don't know about that option. County or me, I don't know about that. I'm not here.
All right. Okay, we're gonna do roundtable. Martin, you have anything from the sheriff's department? Okay,
All right.
Michelle, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
You have anything for roundtable?
I don't, thank you.
Okay, Wilanne?
Just a couple things. The Compass Lake and the Hills maps that you all requested with the electric overlay. I'm not sure exactly how that came out, but something came together that y'all should be able to see that. I think Joey has issued that to all of you. Thank you, Joey. And the courthouse lighting, I don't know if I emailed y'all on this or not, but they are, he's got to get an electrician involved because it's not just a bulb. Some of them just aren't working. And so he finally made contact today with them putting together a quote for him. Apparently electricians are hard to come by these days. And then the Russ house, we are working through. I'm not sure if I sent y'all those pictures or not, but AJ went up and it's just rotting. The wood is rotted in a lot of places. And so it's going to take a specific craftsman to be able to replace that, but he is working through that to see. And because it's a historic building, it has to be replaced like for like. So he can't just do just anything up there. That's all I have.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah,
Donofro.
I know it's getting a little bit late, but regarding the conversation we just had about Chopin's piece of property that we gave him, I think we're going to continue to see more and more pressure from individuals interested in us giving them property out there. I think there's going to be development pressures that are going to be coming forth, and I think that's good. But I read the email that Wilanne sent to me from Michelle, and I tend to agree. And I think I voiced this opinion when Chopin first came to us. I think anytime that we've got property that we're considering giving away for a development, whether that be for a convenience store or anything else, I think we ought to go through some type of public formal request for proposal before we actually give that property away.
Okay.
Which I think there's, there, and I think you had said it, that everybody knows kind of what's going on out there. We've got property that we're willing to give for the right development, but I think there's probably not as much of knowledge about that as we think. And I think if we're gonna consider giving a piece of property away, I think we want to go through some type of formal request saying we're interested in giving this piece of property away. And,
So pretty much more advertising.
yeah, just to make sure that we're giving the public due notice that
They're not knocking the doors down now to get it.
but they may not know that.
Well, I kind of agree, but like I said, they're not knocking the doors down now.
I think we just protect ourselves.
I was just gonna add to that he's referring to the RV email, and we did have some discussion on it, that what I have noticed is people will say to me, what is Endeavor? I mean, people, you can't believe they don't know. I mean,
Call it Dozer, they'll know.
I had a person, didn't know that Chuck Lockie had retired recently. I mean, so that is the awareness of the general public. And so just the thought is, if we identify a specific use, at least knowing we tried to get it out there to those 614 recipients, theoretically, that we saw with the housing, you may still only get one response like we did with the housing, only got the 2. So that's where that was
I guess
generated
we could
from.
say we made
But-
the effort to notify the
Right.
public of the availability.
I don't have any problem with notifying him, but Mr. Chopin, is he going to do a RFP?
No, I think we've already gone past that.
Well, I mean, the next Chopin coming down the road.
I think it
On
would
the
be-
RV park, they don't do one, they do.
And who's going
Well,
to
that's
draft?
what generated this conversation, is that because of the email, the opinion, and Michelle can speak to it if she wants, that the difference is if you identify a business that would not come to Jackson County apart from an incentive, they would not do it because of whatever reason. That's when you incentivize, you give land, you do tax abatement, whatever the case. But if it's a business that, like an RV park, that because they come, they're everywhere, that could through just private enterprise make that happen, that's something you want to advertise. You still give the free land, but you'd want to do the advertisement to give everyone the chance to bid on it. That's kind of the difference of what I understood Michelle's.
I got a
email.
problem with that, in that we would, I'll give land to people in Jackson County, not just to get people to come to Jackson County.
It
Okay.
could be just Jackson
As long
County
as-
that apply even. You
Yeah.
could even give preference to
Yeah,
Jackson
you can give
County.
a local preference. I mean, that could be
In
taken
the
into
bid.
consideration.
Well, I
We just
thought
need
had
jobs,
dis-
business, that's what we need, so.
I thought
whatever mechanism
we had
got.
discussions on this some
We did.
time
We
ago,
did.
and the board decided what to do. And I don't know why we're changing.
Well, what did we decide? What did y'all decide?
We decided that if a business comes before us and they're requesting land that will, help with economic development, then we will give them land out
Well,
there.
you did, but you created parameters. So you had sort of an incentive package that if they met certain criteria. So for instance, the convenience store and the RV park actually doesn't fall into any of that. That's in the parameters that were adopted. That's what generated this conversation over,
For incentives.
right, which free land is listed as an
Well,
incentive. So that's what
That wouldn't be-
prompted
that wouldn't
this.
be the beginning.
Where is that line between just giving it and advertising and giving it?
Yeah, and
Free
so-
land wasn't in the economic
I
development.
think it is.
What?
I don't
It
think it
is.
listed
Yes, it is.
on the
In the
incentive
incentive
about the
package
jobs.
that we, oh, yeah.
It
To
was
include
a,
the
it was
people
a
who don't
combination.
violate.
It
Well,
had
we
ad
need to look at
valorem.
lowering our metrics on it. If they produce 2 jobs in a $2 million store, or 5 jobs in a $2 million job, then we lower that criteria.
Well,
Because everybody that creates a job in Jackson County, in my standpoint, I don't care if you're doing it from a freaking house in your yard and you're generating revenue, that's the economic boost to our county.
When do not want to be misunderstood that we are against the giving the land. It's just the difference in if you're giving it without advertising it to someone who wouldn't come otherwise and making sure you give fair opportunity for anyone to say, I'd like the chance to put this or that there. on
Again,
that
I don't mind
sales property."
advertising. I mean, you want more people to come up because, I mean, it's, you got,
You kind of incentivize a better product if you say, we've identified that we want this and we want it on this spot. Give us your best proposal. But you could give preference to a Jackson County owned business. So we're not trying to
Okay,
overlook them.
all right, go ahead, Paul.
that's it. All right, I just have really 2 things. One of them is, we all have needs in our county, in our district, so I don't make a motion that the remaining amount of money that's in the American CARES Act as of today, we divide that equally between the commission.
No, wait a minute. Is it the CARES?
I mean,
or
American Rescue Act. I get them confused, American Rescue Act. That way we can each go into our county and get what, so I guess projects I want to do. And I don't.
All right, got a motion by Commissioner Hill to divide the American Rescue money between the 5 commissioners. Equally.
Equal, yeah, equal.
Equal. Got a second by Commissioner McKinney.
Discussion.
Discussion by Commissioner Pate.
Sounds good. And yes, I would like that, but I think we've got a lot of money that's been appropriate. I mean, put out, you said the remaining.
Yeah, the remaining.
So
Yeah.
how are you gonna balance the budget like last year?
We
We had to use money to balance. the
We still
budget.
have some CARES Act.
Not enough to, I mean, you got less than $300,000 for the CARES Act money.
And I'm
I mean,
for
and-
that,
and
but
and what
I don't
balance are
know.
we talking about? Are we talking about what's in the bank now or what's coming down the pipe?
Yeah, what's coming down the pipe, because May 11th, we're supposed to get 4.5 more million, right?
Yeah.
May 11th, is that right? May 11th, we got 4.5 million more.
No, we have not got the rest of that money.
I
It
thought it was
hasn't-
supposed
So
to-
he tried to draw it down the other day and it says you can't get the money until you have had a full year from the first disbursement. The first disbursement was on June 23rd. So I guess I'm
Well,
confused.
so just make my motion to include June 23rd.
Your second includes that? Yes, Clay, you're biting your finger.
Well, I think we've already, is that,
That's
like
minus.
you said, like money in the bank or money that we've already said we're gonna use?
No, no.
Like the correctional officers?
Yeah, no, that doesn't include that. We've already made motion decision on that. I'm talking about
Okay.
remaining
So-
balance
Remaining
to the, on that.
So you
Thank
won't
you.
allocate any more?
No, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. So it's all that.
Is this contingent on the legal people saying we can do that?
I thought this was all reimbursed money.
No, no, no,
No,
no, not
no,
this.
no. This is,
It's gotta go
You
to
got
legal.
$60,000 in this game for attorneys already that are telling us how we can.
Okay, well, sure, subject to
It-
legal
it-
review, absolutely.
you can use the money for normal
Well,
government
whatever the
operations.
list is.
So you can't take the money and
Right,
go
you
have
do
a big
something.
party or something. You've got to use it for something
Oh,
that,
don't say that.
you know, is government related,
I-
normal activities of government.
Yeah, that was
You
my
can't pay back loans. There are several things you can't do. But yes, ma'am.
So I was just going to suggest that budget season is upon us and this is going to be probably one of the tightest years and the years coming are going to be even worse. We're looking at over $2 million in salary increases that we do not currently have a revenue source from. We got a $500,000 insurance hike coming that we just found out about the end of last week.
What type insurance?
Health insurance.
Did we go out for bid?
We did not.
I've been trying to get y'all to do that ever since I've been on the board. It ain't happened yet.
So last year we had a rate hold. So this year's a 9.3% increase, which I actually thought was really surprisingly good considering we had a rate hold last year. So I just want, before anyone makes, any lasting decisions, to put in perspective, it is going to be a very, very tough budget year with our revenue situation the way it is.
All right. Anyone else? I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. 3-2.
I'm not opposed to it conceptually. I just feel like maybe we need to take a little bit more time to think through that. But,
I'm with Paul. I think we're coming in to tough times on our budget, and I welcome the money, but I think we should have looked at it and discussed it a little more.
And my second thing, I just got a text. I don't know if y'all got it. My wife just texted me. They just had another shooting at an elementary school in Texas. I don't know if y'all
Uvalde, Texas, they had 2 deaths.
14 dead,
14 now.
14 dead and one
And a
teacher, so
teacher.
15 dead. So
So
y'all just,
15 total.
yeah, 15 as of just a few minutes ago. So just,
All right, anything else?
so that's all I haven't got.
Is that 21 really?
It's one out?
Terrible.
Okay, 21 now.
Including the shooter, right? I think they said the
Commissioner
shooter.
Pate?
got-
I have nothing.
Commissioner McKinney,
Not at this time.
Clay, Danielle,
I have nothing.
I got a couple of things. Jeffrey, let's talk about brush cutters.
Oh, boy. Are we fixing to discuss?
You're talking about the one that's being shipped or the one that's currently here?
We're gonna talk about the ones that were supposed to have been here in March. Where are they?
Still in time. They got
Yeah.
axles.
Have we paid for them?
No, we don't pay until we receive delivery.
I knew the answer to that, but I just wanted it on the record.
You got it.
What's
Okay,
the holdup?
Well, they told me that they were waiting on the axles. The axles were supposed to be here
Also, they're partly in Tampa.
last month. So he said they had one ready. I told him to deliver it to me. And then he said they're waiting on fuel tanks. I said, so it's not ready. You can't deliver it to me. However, he has sent me the VIN numbers on them, but if they're sitting there. they would
That's something we
have
can
VIN numbers.
process. In the meantime, I know Ms. Marie needs certain documentation to keep them, get on the insurance, and all that. Is that something we can?
well,
You can't do that until you get the piece of equipment.
I mean, we
So-
have all the
Well, at least
paperwork
you'll
already.
You'd be,
But half
We
of
would have
it.
to- We gotta lay hands on it.
Jeffrey,
to activate it now.
you and I have talked about the saws.
Mhm.
What can we get one of the saws for?
It's 190,000 plus freight, so I figured this, I wouldn't think no more than $1,000 or so.
Haul it from Montgomery?
It's only 190,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Is
we
that what
paid-
I
I
thought you
just
were going to
heard?
hook the Barney at 190 bucks.
No, this is, you're
does it
paying
have
two,
blades
you're
on it?
paying 2 plus for this bush hog.
Yeah, that was 194,000. Wasn't it?
I think it was
How much were they,
213, I
Beth?
think.
213.
but you're talking about an arm,
I'm talking about the one that you see the power company
You're
use.
talking about giraffe.
but
Yeah.
that's the whole machine, right?
Yeah.
So, but we can't cancel our order now. So you're saying,
Why can't you? He hadn't delivered them.
I imagine it's called a contract.
Michelle? I bet if you look at the contract that said he was supposed to.
I'm here.
deliver it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get a coin. I don't necessarily disagree with on the end of the contractual agreement as far as legal, but they don't have a strong argument. They can control supply and demand right now. Who can?
That's his problem. He signed the contract.
And so do we.
That's right.
How many will we order,
3.
and we gonna buy?
We were going to buy 4. But, we were gonna, but I don't know
What
what's
did we
going
vote
on.
on?
But we bought 3.
We
on
voted
3.
on buying 3?
Yeah,
Okay.
with the idea we may get a 4th one, so we'd have one in every district.
And
But if this guy can't perform, want to wait?
Are the
Michelle,
other ones ready?
Michelle, you need to answer that question, because I don't think we don't have a
Based
cost
on the
on
price, I mean, just a lower price. Is that what you're-
No, just
My concern is with that, if, you know, can not even performing now, you know, what if the machine get down the road and it breaks? You know, How you gonna stand behind it for, you know, repair parts, or what have you?
Michelle, on terminating this contractual agreement because they got a partial brush cutter, is that,
So I'm here. I don't have the contract in front of me, so I can't tell you exactly what it says or what your remedy is gonna be.
Well, take a quick look at it if you would, and let us know what's going on, what we can and can't do. What you got, Red? I'm just tired of waiting.
I understand. So all the emails I have is, all we have is a signed quote, not actual purchase contract. So there's no delivery time, there's no anything on either parties, there's no teeth. So
there's no contract.
there's a signed quote with intention to purchase. Now, there are some, you know, legal obligations assigned with that, but there's no written per se
Can you
contract.
make sure that Michelle gets a copy of that so she can take a look at it? And you can convey to this guy that I'm not happy. I don't know about the rest of them.
I'm not happy.
But I'm ready to do something different.
how late was our grader? Seriously, how late was the grader?
You still don't have all of them, do
I
you?
know, I mean,
I
that's
got
the
3
last
more
part.
today, so I've got 7 now.
And that's a bad contract too. I read it. I wouldn't
I
have
got,
signed it.
I got 7 of
You
them.
did sign it.
You did sign.
I didn't. They put my name on it.
You signed it.
Y'all approved it.
Yeah, I know, but
He signed it.
He signed it.
anyway.
I forgot it.
So what
I
is it that
guess
you're wanting to do?
Yeah, that's what
What I'm ready to do is back out of the deal.
Okay,
We don't
All
have.
We have a better deal.
For all 3 of them?
He can get we can get one of those saws from Montgomery. Said it's
But
One or
that's,
3?
What?
that's all they've got is 1.
No.
They won't have the 2 more before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So,
It still doesn't help. I mean,
No,
you ain't gonna
Have that money we
solve
just
the
put it on,
problem.
you go and buy your draft. Let us have the other 3.
Well, that might work too, but I don't feel like doing that. I'm not generous. All right, you make sure he understands that I'm not happy with it.
Still not gonna get them gas tanks get there in a quick.
I mean.
Why didn't he tell us he was waiting on
that was my
actual
concern.
gas tanks and fuel pumps?
I mean, that was kind of my concern whenever I talked to him. He says, waiting on axles and all that, or I'm emailing him. He's saying axles, so I'm under the belief that when these axles get here, I'm ready to go. Because my thing was, I don't build a machine, so I don't know how they build, but it looks like to me, when you start building a machine, you start with a frame and axles. So that would be one of the first things that went in, not the last thing.
Hopefully they got blocked up and chained down and wait for the axle to slide underneath.
Right.
Well,
What you need.
the next thing, Paul, the last time we were here, we talked about the warehouse out at Dozer. And you were going to look at a single ply or something.
I looked at Hunter sent me the bid prices and they did come in extremely high. They were like almost $25 a square foot. And he explained to me the type of roof. It's a roof metal retrofit. The 2 questions I asked him was, 1, to look at changing from 22 gauge metal to 24 gauge metal, which is more industry standard for what we typically do for standing seam roofs. And then maybe look and see if there's any savings associated going from 30-year warranty, no dollar limit warranty, to a 20-year, no dollar limit warranty, and see if there's any potential savings with those 2 items.
So you're working on that?
Yeah.
All right, we just need to get that done, one way or the other. Rhett, I've already asked you about the grass in the mill pond, and you told me you were taking care of that. And House Bill 7049. I don't know if the governor has signed it yet, but that's the one where I told y'all that they passed a bill about advertising in newspapers. You need to take a look at that. And unfortunately, stand up. Come up front.
Oh, I thought you.
I thought he was talking to Red.
I thought he told everybody, like, my God, you're
Me
going
too.
authoritarian here.
As you can see, Ms. Carlin is smiling from ear to ear. She's so happy with all of us. This is her last meeting. We're going to miss you. It's been a pleasure working with you, and good luck in your endeavors.
Thank you. I have something I'd like to read.
Oh, boy, I'm in trouble.
Luckily, I read this, I wrote this before.
She
So-
can say whatever she wants.
Yeah, she's really got the short timer's attitude.
Good evening, Commissioners. It is my final board meeting as your Deputy County Administrator. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank each of you. I wanted to say thank you to my fellow directors, thank you to our county employees, and thank you to the public for this opportunity.
We're
It has
going to
been-
miss you.
It has been the highlight of my career and an absolute pleasure to have served in this capacity for the last 3.5 years. It has been a wild ride and there have been some bumps in the road, but there have also been so many changes for the good. Both the county and I have grown so much, and I am so very proud of all that we have accomplished together. And though I will no longer be directly a part of that growth, I know that what will come without a doubt will be amazing. I lastly want to thank my boss, Wilanne Daniels. I want to thank her for so many things. But I specifically would like to thank her for choosing me over and over and over each day, for guiding me, and not just me, but this county towards excellence. I want to thank her for leading by example every single day. I want to thank her and recognize her for being exactly what this county needs. I am better for this opportunity, and I am better because of each one of you in this room and for those that serve each day with diligence and grace for this county. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart and with love. Thank you.
Is there anything else?
Carlin, are you gonna play golf? I've got a bucket of golf.
After we go off the record, I'll tell you what you're really going to do. We're adjourned.